Hey everyone, Tony here with your weekly 80-star basketball auction report. As always, if you have comments, suggestions, feedback, or if you like a specific card discussed, please leave me a message or a comment on the Facebook group, the video comment here. Starting with the 101 sales, we had two this past week. Craig Morris sold BGS 8 for nearly $26,000. And on the same day, there was a BGS Authentic that sold for $7,000. This is about on par with the recent sales of BGS 8s. And this is slightly more than what authentic BGS copies go for, probably because of the side-to-side centering. And I'm not sure why it's authentic, but it is a little bottom heavy. With upcoming auctions, we spoke about some of these last week. PSA 7 at Golden, ending in 3 days. BGS 8.5 with a 9 auto, ending in 17 days, already up to $136,000. And in that same auction as the autograph copy, there's a PSA 6 that's currently at $8,500, and we spoke a little bit about this card last week. With the 195 Michael Jordan, we had 7 sales. So on the 18th, we had a number of them. We had a PSA 5 go for $2,800. BGS 5.5 sold for $3,151. BGS 7.5 sold for $4,000. BGS 6.5 nearly $3,000. On the 16th at Fanatics Weekly, there was a BGS 7 that sold for $3,240. On the 15th, there were 2 sales. A PSA 6 sold for $4,050, and another PSA 6 sold for $4,078. So I took a look at all these. Not many stood out to me in terms of better than the others. I mean, sure, the higher graded ones were a little bit better centered, but you can see the vast majority of these have the right border being thin. There's 4 upcoming auctions for the 185. We have a PSA 6 on eBay, ends in 3 days. And on Fanatics Weekly, there is a BCCG 8 204. For those who don't know what BCCG is, Beckett in the 2000s tried a friendly, easier to comprehend grading service, and it wasn't BVG for vintage, it wasn't BGS, which was for their modern non-vintage cards. This was something where they thought it would be a little bit more lenient in the grading. So you see here how a BCCG 8 is only an excellent or better card, whereas usually a PSA 8 or a BGS 8, SGC 8 would be near mint to mint. Deemed a failure in grading history, but be aware of what you're buying. Also, there's a 7.5 at Fanatics Collect that ends in 4 days, currently at $28.80. At Golden, we went over this last week. With the 288, one active listing last week that we reported on, and that sold for $4,292. That was a BGS 7.5. Greg Morris has been using the BVG for his Beckett auctions, but it's not BVG. For upcoming 288 listings, we have 4. In one day, there's a BGS 7 that's nearly at $6,000. In 2 days, There's a BGS 7.5 ending on eBay, currently a little bit above $3,000. Also ending in 3 days, we have a PSA 6, currently at $5,699. I think this is a listing, an offer. Yeah, it has 0 bids. And there's a PSA 6.5 at Golden, ending also in 17 days, currently at $2,196. Quite a few sales with John Stockton, Charles Barkley, and Hakeem Olajuwon for the 84-85 set. There were 4 Stockton sales. We had a PSA 7 at $16.27. We had the PSA 8 at $15.14. A lot of attention was actually on this card. Multiple friends of mine brought it up to me. I get the feeling some people think this is a B-grade candidate, and which could possibly be an 8.5 or a 9 with PSA. So that's part of the reason why this card went for about $300 more than what PSA 8s go for, $200 to $300 more. The other Barkley was on the 17th. This was a raw copy, went for $486. And what we talked about in previous auction report videos, you can see the top here has a bad factory cut. This also has the bottom. This was just a diamond cut, is what we call it in the vintage hobby. And on the 16th at Fanatics Collect and on eBay the same date, I saw these 2 sales. So this was a PSA 6 that sold for $444. And we had a BGS 9 sell for $1,180. So we may have talked a little bit about this last week. It is a BGS 9, but it has a slight diamond cut to it, which was part of the reason why a BGS 9 sold for $1,180, while we had a PSA 8 and yesterday for $1,014. With the Barclays, there were 2 sales. We had a PSA 5, $905, and we also had a PSA 6 that sold for $935. So pretty similar grade. Here's the 5. Little top heavy. Corners show some wear. Nice side-to-side centering. That was the 5, and here's the 6. Yep, I like the 6 a little bit better. So comparing the 5 to the 6 was only $30 more. I think the 6 is a better card. And 2 Olajuwon sales. One ended last night for $1,627. This was a PSA 7. And we also had a raw copy. A little bit of corner wear here. This ended for $475 on eBay. Upcoming John Stockton listings for the week. I see 1, which is a BGS 8.5 on eBay. We have 2 Barclays. We have a PSA 8. I believe this is an asking price at $8,500. There's also a PSA 7 Barkley on eBay, $1,650. So no active listings. There's also 3 Olajuwons currently for sale. 2 are at Fanatics. This is a BGS 8, another BGS 8. I believe this one's a little bit better in terms of the centering. And we have this one on eBay that we talked about multiple times. Also wanted to show some bags that are currently for sale. 3 are at Heritage, 1 Golden. Ending in 3 days, we have an 84-85 Star Court Kings complete set, $800. There's the 85 Star Miller Lite All-Stars, 13 cards in this set, $1,650. And also at Heritage, we have a 85-star Crunch and Munch All-Star set. That's also in the team bag. That's currently at $3,400. And next week, we'll take a look at this team bag at Golden. It's 84, 85 Chicago Bulls with MJ on the front. And you can clearly see this card's has a little bit centering issues, but other than that, it looks pretty good. But we'll do the deep dive into the bag next week. With the Patrick Ewing, there is one sale since we last had a video, and I don't see it yet. So it was a BGS 8.5 sold for $600 today on eBay, not showing up here. Upcoming Ewings, I see two listings. One is a auction. It's a BGS 8.5 at Fanatics. Collect also has the signature. We looked at this last week, currently at $132. With the 80 going on to the 1985 Star Jordan 117, no sales since last week. The last sale was February 1st. BGS 9.5, nice card. I think the scanning settings may have this card looking a little bit faded in the center. It does have a surface 9.5, so it should be fine. There's one upcoming 84, 85, 86 MJ listing, card number 117. That's at Golden. It's a BGS 9, currently at $2,838. Similar to the one we just looked at. I think it's the scanner settings that make the center look a little bit faded. It's a nice card. That's all the auctions for this week. In reminder, please, if you have any questions, reach out to us. Also, check out the auction report website. And if you have questions about Pop Report, always use Generate. Click Universal Card Search, type in your search here, and you would be able to see all the different cards graded. So here we did the 1985 Starlight All-Stars MJ. We see 168 graded with PSA, while 531 have been graded at BGS. Thanks, folks. Have a nice week.